Hey guys, welcome into the channel. In today's video, we're going to be installing a oil catch can in my 2020 Jeep JLUR. If you're new here, welcome to the channel and don't forget to subscribe. So I actually been wanting to install one of these for quite some time. It will help keep your engine clean in theory, and also just keep any oil debris or whatnot out of your intake system. So in theory, keeping your motor clean and keeping your motor running for forever, hopefully. That's how long we want all of our cars to run for, forever, obviously. No issues. So, giving your motor a little bit of love, helping it out. Definitely recommend installing one of these. This is actually from Mishimoto, and from what it looked like on Amazon, it looked like a good product. So I decided to spend my money on it. And actually this was an open box, so I saved, I'm not sure exactly how much I did save, but I know it was well over $100, because I know this system's like 250 bucks. So you might get lucky like I did and save a little over 100 bucks on this system. So it is a good investment for obviously keeping your Jeep running for, you know, obviously for hopefully ever. So let's get to it. So first thing first, we want to get this engine cover off. Two 10 millimeters right here in the front. Once we get this off, then pretty much that'll be everything that is covering up where we need to get to. So, but stay close to your tools because we're going to still need to take some more stuff off. So once we get the engine cover off, we're going to want to remove this hose right here. Got it all cleaned off a little bit for you. So we actually could just pull it off from here. Some people recommend just pulling the tab and just ripping that off, but to be honest with you, you know, we could just go ahead and do this number. Get the suction side, because we're gonna connect the new hose to this end actually. So we could just split it open a little bit here so we have some room, and then push this tab here in. We'll lift it up, and then we're just gonna slide it out. All right, now that we got this hose out, this is where I was talking about we could pull the hose off. So it is still connected there because we're gonna be using that to connect the new hose. And obviously you could see right here that there is oil going through the PCV valve system. So if you have hit 100,000 miles, it is actually recommended in the service manual to replace the PCV valve. So I do recommend placing the PCV valve if you are at that mileage at this point. So we got this pulled off. Now we are going to hook up the rest. So we are going to be wanting to remove now this intake hose portion. So we're going to want an 8 millimeter for that part, and we're going to want to take off these two 10 millimeters, and we're going to want to disconnect this connector. So let's get that disconnected. So obviously you can see that there is oil going into the system, which is what we're trying to prevent. So hopefully from now on, we will not have this issue anymore. So let's get to the rest of the install. All right, next I got the catch can all set up. Unfortunately, I couldn't find my wrenches, even though I got a lot of wrenches just at this moment in time. I didn't feel like moving the Jeep and getting to my wrenches. I had to use a crescent wrench. This might look like a 17 or 18 millimeter. The top Allen heads are actually a 2.5. So, but I got this all set up. These, like I said, with the crescent wrench, really not much torque needs to be applied to them. It doesn't take much. I do recommend putting a little dab of oil on the O-rings. Now that we got all of that on here and all set up, we'll get to the next step. So the next step is we're going to be wanting to lift up our vacuum pump. So it's two 10 millimeters right here on the side. You want to just lift it up. You're going to put the bracket underneath it, and then we're going to set it right there, and it's going to be sitting, the whole catch can will be sitting right here on the right. Obviously make sure before you put this on, just make sure that this is tight, all the way tight, so obviously the can doesn't come flying off on the freeway somewhere and you lose that. So let's go ahead, get that installed. Once you picked up your vacuum pump, just make sure that you have the holes aligned with the holes with the bracket. Start your bolts through, and then you go ahead and tighten them up. Obviously this is a good point in time to start checking over some of your stuff, because obviously you're not always in here, so you just want to check over lines, all that. Oh, and by the way, pro tip, when you do install new stuff, you just want to make sure that obviously stuff's not going to rub up against it and cause problems. I think I'm going to install something right here so it doesn't rub through and, in theory, cause a problem later on in life. All right, so we're going to install the smaller of the hoses first. I pulled out the dipstick and I used some of that oil onto the O-rings, and we are going to connect it right there. And we're going to want to hook this up to the out side of your catch can. Looks like the out is going to be the right side and the in is going to be the left side. So you see that? Out. I'm gonna go out, hooked up. Then in is going to be to this. So let's get the out hooked up. All right, now that I got that installed, obviously it's nice and tight. I got it out of the way of stuff. I'm just pushing down the access, and it will be easy to take off if we ever do decide to take it off at some point. So let's get the next hose on. So obviously, like, again, check fitment, looks good. So all right, let's get the next hose on. So with this longer hose, I'm actually going to avoid all of this, and we are going to go around like so, and we are going to connect into that hose and down here, and we are going to be going on the bottom of this plastic hose, reaching into the oil catch can. So this process, we're going to need both of the clamps, or the rest of the clamps, in the bag. All right, I got it lubed up. I actually went ahead and just spared you all the boring parts. So I slipped it in. I actually decided just to go this way with the clamp and went around all of this, so it's barely touching anything. And getting back to what I was saying about this rubbing, actually, now that I have the tube running through here, it actually stops all of that, and it'll stay on top of this rubber tube. Well, obviously it won't have any issues. This already has some chafe wrap on it, but what I think I'm going to do is, it did come with a couple of zip ties. I'm actually going to zip tie off to this to keep that from moving any, and pretty much that's it. And before we throw everything back on, obviously you just want to double check to make sure that there is nothing that went inside of this turbo pipe, because obviously you don't want it going into your motor. Obviously there's going to be someone in the comments saying, oh, you should have covered that up with a rag. Wasn't really too worried about it because it wasn't really that sensitive. If something really would have fallen in there, it's pretty easy to pull out. So just always double check to make sure that nothing went inside during this whole process. So let's put everything back on. So just go ahead and run this hose underneath there, and it shouldn't have any issues. Obviously we got padding underneath here, Make sure we just line all that up. There we go. Lined up correctly. Hit it pretty good. There we go. Should fit a little bit snug, but it will fit. Go ahead and throw those bolts on. So that is it. We got the oil catch can installed. I hope you guys found this video helpful. At this point, you know, this is your own decision if you guys decide to do this upgrade. So I'm not sure if any of this is going to affect your guys' warranty. So you might want to look into that as far as maybe calling your local dealership or whoever you have your warranty through. See if something like this would affect your guys' warranty. Definitely recommend looking that up before you install something like this. So at this point, hope you guys found this informational. So catch you on the next video.